G'day, church. I want to talk to you about A COVID Christmas. It's not a great title for a Disney film. But I do think as we come to this season of Advent, it is time for us to talk about the elephant in the room. Two things. I don't want to make promises I can't keep. And I also don't want to try to pretend that I can see what's going to happen. But sometime within the next 3 weeks, the state borders to Queensland are going to open. And that will change a whole lot for us. Advent and this looking forward to Christmas gives us the possibility. It is a time of possibility. And that's the way I want us to think about this. Could you read the Christmas story with me in the light of where we are as a community facing this COVID thing? So in the first century, there is a global turmoil. To use a good Yiddish word, it's a shemoz. Nobody really knows what's going on. The governments of the day, be that Caesar, Herod, the rest of them, they're all saying to the community, this needs to happen. It's going to be a census in that case. And there's any number of people who just go, yeah, right, yeah, I can see what that's about. Yep. There are others who go, yeah, whatever. And there are people who go, no. But it's going to happen. And caught up in this are the characters of the story that we are reading into and learning from and growing with this season of Advent. Because they see a possibility. And God does. This is the amazing, I look at this and I go, really? God? In that? But God's wisdom is considered foolishness by humans. I get that. And so God says, no, in this, even in this chaotic turmoil circumstance, I want you to meet Jesus. I want you to see that the kingdom of God is about to break in. And so who gets caught up in this? All sorts of people. All sorts of people, and they have all sorts of reactions, pardon the pun, to what is going on. It's the 14-year-old Mary who says, what? But yes, I'll be in this. And the 60-year-old Elizabeth who says, there are things that just can never happen. I cannot have a baby. And God says, oh, you would be surprised what can happen. And there's Zechariah who doesn't even have words to express what he knows, what he senses in his heart. There is something exciting about to happen, but he's mute. He can't even express what's going on. And there will be Magi who will look for the clues and take on a courageous, determined journey following the stars. Maybe we have to follow the stars to see the clues and see what the possibilities might be. So here's the thing. Above everything else, and like I said, I don't want to make promises I can't keep. But the beat of my heart is, and I believe it's the heartbeat of our community, is for us to be people who would be an example of how to live together in community. The very nature of God is community. 3 very different and yet one, and we don't know how that works. And we can't express it, and it seems crazy, but in that is the possibility of a whole new way. Could our church, could churches in general, somehow be the example for the community around us who says, that's how we do this thing. It might look rough. It won't be perfect. It will have its moments. It won't be a neat, tidy package that pleases everybody, but I do not want to be the guy who says, well, you're under 16, so therefore you can't come in. You haven't been vaccinated. And you're over 70, or whatever the definition of vulnerable is, so you're not welcome either. And you're somebody who, for medical reasons, or who chose not to be, well, you can't. No. Somehow, instead of coming with argument and trying to convince one another, and let me tell you, Jesus never called us to do that. He never said, now I want you to go out in the world and convince people. Argue with them. get them to see things your way. He didn't do that. What he did was listen. He listened. Whether it's that Samaritan woman who is so opposite of everything he is. Maybe it's the demon-possessed guy who everybody else has just thrown out and said, you're not welcome amongst us. Maybe it's Bartimaeus, the homeless blind guy. Jesus uses two of these. He looks, he listens, he shows civility before he speaks. That's a 4-to-1 ratio. That's the way we need to be. To listen and to hear and to come with possibility. Even in a circumstance that seems to be in turmoil, what are the possibilities of the kingdom of God to be breaking out here? So please, let's come with ways forward, ideas and suggestions. I don't know what things look like even by the time we get to Christmas. But in our life, and not only our life on Sunday, but our life of witness, of sharing, of being together, let us look for the possibility. Let us make room for the possibility. Let's not be like the innkeeper who says there's no room. There's no room. And old mate missed out on having the Son of God born in his shed. Somebody else who said, I can see some possibility here. There's a stable. Will that do? Yes. God says, yes, I can work even in that, and new things will be born. It won't be neat, it won't be tidy, it will be dirty, it will be noisy. But if we act in that sense of the advent, the coming of God, let's do that. Let's be an exemplar to the world around us who says there's a bunch of people who are looking for the ways not to argue, not to confront, not to convince, but to love and to see what God is doing.